condition. Our goal for this session is to provide a holistic view of how infrastructure digital twin provide smarter decision support in all phases of asset life cycle for water networks, from master planning to capital planning and design, and into maintenance. Going through the invitation which we shared online, lots of questions may have came to your mind that what digital twin technology is, how it helps water utilities, what is water infrastructure, and what is open flows water gems. So let us go one by one. I'll answer all these questions, and I request that please mute your mic and mute your video so that the session will go uninterrupted. So let's start with the first one. What is digital twin? It is a digital representation of physical asset, a process, or a system, as well as the engineering information that allows us to understand and model its performance. A digital twin enables user to visualize the assets, perform its analysis, and generate insights to predict and optimize its performance. Digital twins can be continuously synchronized from multiple sources, including sensors and continuous surveying data and meter readings to represent the real-time status, the working condition, or position of asset or a system. According to me, the simplest way to define a digital twin is that it is a digital or computer based representation of any physical asset. It can be any. So the digital twin includes the physical design of assets like, for example, a 3D CAD drawing, as well as all the information about assets current and historical reading conditions, so on and so forth. Bentley's digital twin technology delivers an innovative solution for turning data into smart decisions and better management of the network infrastructure and its operation. Let's move further. As you can see, here is a physical system, and on the right hand side, you can see a digital twin of that particular system. A digital twin helps us by informing decisions in every part of the asset life cycle. As you can see, from planning to operation, the complete cycle is called asset life cycle. So a digital twin helps user by informing decisions in every part of the asset life cycle, from long-term decisions like systems vulnerability and capacity planning, to medium-term decisions like predictive maintenance planning, to short-term decisions like pump scheduling, so on and so forth. Also, it can even help with the immediate decisions like critical situations such as pipe break, pump or power outages, and other critical situations. Then, how it helps water utilities. Now let's conclude this digital twin thing by with a simple example. See, you can see a pump that is operating in the field. You're right beside the pump so that you are able to look at the pump and describe its physical characteristics. Assume that all the appropriate sensors, gauges are available, so you are able to tell us that what's the speed of that motor is. That is nothing but how fast it is turning, how much liquid it is pumping, and what its current temperature is. Essentially, you would know everything that is available to know about that pump because you are looking at, or you are just standing besides the pump. What if we have a digital twin of that pump? The digital twin of that pump is simply allowing you and others to see all the same information via computer anywhere in the world rather than right beside the pump itself. There is one more thing that digital twin offers is you would not get standing that information which you would not get standing right beside the asset. The thing is nothing but history of that particular asset. With a digital twin, you can also get the historical view of all the things which are described above. That is, what is the type of that pump, speed, discharge, pressure, etc., etc. This means you can look at the pump. How was it running yesterday, last week, or even 2 years ago? You can also look at the physical characteristics of the pump last year before it had that new part added to it. So this is how digital twin and helps water utilities to work more efficiently. Now let us take a look on what is water infrastructure. Water infrastructure is a broad term of system consisting of water supply, water drainage, treatment, storage, resource management, irrigation system, flood prevention and hydropower, etc., etc. But when you merge all these things with the computer software and work along with the digital world, this whole system becomes a smart water system. Also, we can call it as an intelligent water infrastructure, as you can see over here. By using all the sensors, software applications, system, everything, we can develop this smart infrastructure or intelligent water infrastructure. So this was all about the digital twin and water infrastructure. Let us move on today's important topic. This session is related to WaterGems software application, and this session is structured to take all the engineers through the entire modeling process, from gathering system data and understanding how a computer model works with its design and operations. The presentation introduces about water distribution modeling by giving an overview of the basic distribution system components, defining the nature and purpose of distribution system simulations, and outlining the basic steps in the modeling process. As some of you may have used this software, but the major crowd today and major participants today are the first time users, or maybe they are looking at this software at the very first time. So I kept it very simple and understanding to, and I'll take every one of you with a good input in your skills. Okay, so let us start. Let us go with the agenda first. We'll discuss about the current scenario of water, and then water distribution system overview. Then we'll take a few slides for introduction to WaterGem software, the basic hydraulics which is required to run this software, then ribbon interface, different kinds of tools, finally result interpretation. So this was related to the slides, and the last part, which is steady state and extended period simulation analysis. We'll go to the software and we'll run few models. Okay, so let's start with the current scenario of water. In summer or most of the months in the year, you must have seen all these types of news paper in paper, magazines, or maybe on social media, that we are on the brink of disaster. Water is becoming more valuable than gold. Water crisis, the result of shocking negligence, and city will run out of water in 17 years. We are not yet prepared for water crisis. You can see the daily struggle for just 1 liter of water. Can you see the queue for just 2 liters of water? If the scenario continues further, there will be water wars. But we are engineers, we are practitioners, we have to develop the infrastructure, we have to develop intelligent water infrastructure, smart water infrastructure. So we have to think of few things for overcoming these issues. So now there are two types of water utilities. One is underdeveloped and another one is in developed state. So there are different challenges we used to face when the water utility is underdeveloped. The challenges are like we don't have hydraulic model. The model which we are having now is not calibrated. The network which is planned is unplanned or haphazardly laid. Then we have intermittent water supply. Because of that, we face aging of pipes, we have insufficient assets, poor quality of water, leakages, and because of that, we have to pay high operational cost. And because of leakage, we face high water losses, and it reduces the performance of the system. But there are few challenges in water utility which is in developed state. So what are the benefits we have? We have hydraulic model present. We have calibrated and well planned network. We have continuous water supply. Then we can do the age assessment. We have asset management. Then with the help of all of this above, we will get good quality of water with no leakages. We can reduce the operational cost. Then as there will be less water losses, we can develop a smart water system. Can we go directly from challenges to benefits? No. We have to inculcate few new things, to learn few new things. We have to go with the digital world. We have to develop this water smart system. So can we go directly? No. We have to transform ourselves to go from these challenges and jump from challenges to benefits. So do we have solution for all those challenges? For Bentley, we have, or Bentley is working in every other field of advancing infrastructure. As you can see here, we are working in campuses, minings, road constructions, utility networks, rails, transits, building, subsurface utilities, cities, so on and so forth. So from all of this, today we are going to cover water and wastewater part. Okay, so let us start with a simple water cycle. Since childhood we are learning what exactly the water cycle is, but today I have just created this small animation. First of all, we have we have to do the abstraction, that we are abstracting water from natural resources. Then we used to treat it in treatment plants. After we store that water and then we supply it to the public. After usage, we collect the wastewater. In parallel, if there is a storm, we can collect storm water. We used to treat that water once again and try to reuse that water. If we cannot reuse that water, then the last step is restitution, that returning the clean water to the environment. Okay, so today we basically are focusing on these two parts, that is storage and supply. So Water Gems works in these two parts of the water cycle, that storage and supply. We don't cover treatment part in Water Gems. Okay, then let's take a look on water distribution system. We will take a brief overview of water distribution system. What exactly the water distribution system is? The purpose of water distribution system is to convey wholesome water to the consumer at adequate residual pressure with sufficient quantity and good quality at a convenient point. As such, a proper design and layout. uh, I request once again, kindly mute your audio and video so that the session will go uninterrupted. Thank you. Okay, sorry. So as such, the proper design and layout of the system is of very great importance. Water distribution system analysis of water distribution system is driven by customer demand, that how much demand is there from customer side. Water usage rates and patterns vary greatly from system to system and are highly dependent on climate, culture, and local industry of that particular area. Now, let's take a look on WaterGem software. We'll go through few platforms, its specifications and usage. First of all, let's see what is WaterGems. WaterGems is a powerful state-of-the-art software tool primarily used for modeling and analysis of water distribution system. In the picture shown here, you can see a typical water distribution system. The software is also used by water utility manager as a tool for efficient operation of distribution system. This software helps to improve your knowledge of how infrastructure behaves as a system, how it reacts to operational strategies, and how it should grow as the population and demand increases. Okay, but one question may have arise in your mind that what this gems is, what this word gems is it a chocolate? No, it was a lame joke, sorry. But what the gems mean is, what a gems is nothing but geospatial environmental modeling software. I repeat, it is a geospatial environmental modeling software which is having a complete GIS integration. So the GEMS stand for geospatial environmental modeling software, right? Okay, take a look on WaterGems platform. This software can be used as standalone on or on standalone platform, or the file from within ArcGIS, from within MicroStation, and from within AutoCAD. So these are the different platforms of this software. Let's take a look on hierarchy and specifications. WaterGems is a superset of WaterCAD and Hammer. As you can see, all the three softwares over here. There are a few advanced tools which are present in WaterGems but are not there in WaterCAD. Also, as you can see over here, it is having a complete GIS integration, but WaterGems is not having the GIS integration. It is basically, we can use it on CAD platform. The Hammer software is used for transient analysis, and it is a part of this WaterGems software. Means if we are developing any kind of model in WaterGems or WaterCAD, we can simply open that model in Hammer, and we can do the transient analysis for that particular system which we have developed. There are 6 additional modules available in WaterGems but not there in WaterCAD. So with all these properties, WaterGems becomes superset of all these two softwares. Now, why it is used? We'll say different use of WaterGems. We can perform steady state and extended period simulation with the help of this WaterGems. Steady state simulation is nothing but a one-shot picture of extended period simulation. Extended period simulation is nothing but the simulation for a particular period. Maybe it may be for 1 hour, 2 hour, 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, few years. So this is, as the name suggests, extended period simulation is for a certain amount of period, and steady state condition is for a particular time. As you can see, the blue lines or the graph plotted here, this graph is for extended period simulation, and as you can see, a vertical line, black vertical line intersecting that blue line is nothing but a steady state condition of that particular system. Means at that particular time, what is the state of my system is. So this is how I can perform this both steady state and extended period simulation. Then we can analyze multiple time variable demands at particular junction nodes. Simple example, currently you are staying at home, not going to office, but every day you get up in the morning, you start using water, then you left for your office or job, then suddenly the demands which was there at the junction in front of our house reduces, and the demand at the junction when everybody reaches office, the usage of water increases. Okay, the demand at office location increases. Okay, so this is how the multiple time variable demands at any junction node we can analyze that. Then we tanks, pumps, etc. We can do fire flow analysis for water gem software. We can model, optimize, and calibrate the network. Also, we have SCADA connectivity. We can do all the simulations. If we have SCADA connections or sensors which are present with us, we have SCADA connectivity. We can do the SCADA connections, connectivity and simulations with the help of the software. And finally, we can do water quality analysis, right? So in this software, we do not perform water treatment part, but we can do the water quality analysis. So this is how Water Gems software works. Now let's take a look on the software interface. Once you open the software, this will be your welcome window. You cannot see this type of colorful window. I have made it for simple understanding. Now we'll start with one by one. As you may have used all those things such as, or simply I can say Microsoft Office tools such as Word, Excel, so on and so forth. So like that, this software is having a ribbon interface, which you can see at the top. Then on the left hand side, okay, with the help of this ribbon interface, we can move into any kind of ribbon, and we can use different kinds of tools. Okay, so that's why we have provided this ribbon interface at the top. Then on the left hand side, you can see the element symbol. Whatever the element which we are using to develop a network will appear over here. So as you can see over here, we can see pipe, lateral, junctions, hydrants, tank, reservoir, tap, so on and so forth. The central part is your drawing space. On the right hand side, you can see the element properties. If you click on any kind of element such as a pipe, a junction, a tank, or any element, you can see all the individual properties of that particular individual element in the element properties dialog box. At the bottom on the left hand side, you can see background layers. Once we will go to the software part, we are going to see all those things one by one. So background layers, we can use any kind of file. We can use Bing Maps, that we are going to see in detail in next few slides. Then here, the last one, that is user notifications. Once you run the model, if there are any problems occur in the model, you can see the user notifications or errors which has incurred during your compute. All the errors will be shown in the user notification dialog box. Then let's take a detailed look on ribbon interface. As you can see, we are at the home tab. The base part of this home tab is all the commonly used or all the commonly required tools which are added on the home tab for easy access. So these are all the commonly used tools which we use while developing a model. We can use scenarios and alternative tools. We can use the calculation tool, drawing, layout, common component, graphs, profiles, flex tables, model builder, so on and so forth. Then the another one is layout tab. People who are not aware of this software can understand this slide very easily. As we are on the layout tab, here all the common layouts which we use to develop a system. Okay, as you can see here, pipes, you can see here junctions, laterals, we can see tank, reservoir, hydrant, customer meter, then we can see pumps, variable valves, so on and so forth. So these are all the commonly used layout. The next is analysis tab, where you'll find all the analysis tools. We can find, as we have discussed earlier, in home tab we have already seen this calculation tab, which is commonly used. So with the help of this calculation tab, we can do we can compute the system, can have the summary of that system. We can do fire flow analysis, flushing, pipe relay planner, Darwin designer. These can go to different flex tables that we will see in the software. In component tab, the one of the important part is engineering library and prototype. So engineering library is nothing but all the data which is there in book, or which is predefined, is stored in that library. If you don't have any kind of data like pipe information, pump information, you can use the engineering libraries, and also you can create your own prototypes for developing a model. Then finally, a tools tab. Here we can find some advanced tools such as model builder, T-Rex, load builder, calibrator, skeletonizer, so on and so forth. So we are going to take a few slides to discuss regarding all these things. Before that, let's take a look on how this water gems works. Here is one small animation for that. If you are having any questions, please type it on chat box. Thank you. Now, as this animation was related to the software, how water gems works. First of all, we need a reservoir. So we have to fix some elevation. This elevation shows the highest level of water in that reservoir. So we have to fix this reservoir. Here in water gems, we consider reservoir as an infinite source of water. Okay, so after after reservoir, we need some few pumps to extract extract some water from the reservoir and transferring it to the treatment plant. As I have already mentioned that this water gem software doesn't cover the treatment part. So after treatment, we used to store that water in tanks. Then from tanks, the water flows through junctions and pipes to satisfy the demands. So here in pumps, we have to fix elevation, we have to mention all the different pump types, different pump definitions, so on and so forth. Like in tank, we have to again add elevation to that, then different water levels. In theory, we have studied that. Then area and volume of that tank, that to decide that what should be the capacity of that particular tank is. Then after tank, we come to junctions and pipe. Here for junctions, we have to add elevations and demand. I'm repeating, whatever the demand which we have to assign in the software, we have to assign it to the junction. We cannot assign demand to a pipe. Okay, so just keep it in mind. So for pipe, we have to enter diameter for that pipe, then length, we have to fix the material, so on and so forth. After putting all this information and plotting a network, once we compute the network, we will get results like junction pressure, pipe flow, different velocities from in different location, so on and so forth. Okay, so what are the basic things which we must know before running the software? So in theory, we must have gone through this all basic things, that we must know the flow, that is discharge. Sorry to interrupt. from my side. But once again, I request Dilip Kumar, kindly mute your audio. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so we must know the flow details and the units for velocity, how it is calculated, commonly used units, so on and so forth. Then pressure. Here in water distribution system, meters of H2O is the commonly used unit for pressure, and we can use all these things in the software as well. Then we have studied conservation of mass, that is nothing but mass in is equal to mass out. So water enters the system and water leaves the system. Demand, storage, fire flow, leaks, theft, poorly calibrated water meters, unknown cross sections, connections to other systems, everything is covered in this mass which is in and mass which is out. Okay. Now let's move further. We have idea of this energy principle. The velocity head is where we will determine the head loss of the value. Head loss of the valve or fitting. Generally speaking, distribution system are distributed enough to where a particular valve or fitting loss is minuscule compared to the overall pipe head losses. Okay. Then we have this idea: when water is flowing from one point to another point, say for example from point A, at point A there is one tank and water is flowing from point A to point D. There, and if we insert three clear tubes at pipe from which the water is flowing, we can see the amount of head loss. So simply we must keep in mind that fluid moves from high head to low head. Now let us take a look on few head loss equations, and we have studied these equations in theory. Most commonly used equation is Darcy-Weisbach equation, that is nothing but H is equal to FLV square upon 2GD. Now here in this equation we have to find out this F value, that is friction factor value, with the help of this too much tedious Moody's diagram. So for this, to determine the F, the Reynolds number and the relative roughness. Here on x-axis we can see the Reynolds number, and on y-axis we can see the relative roughness. This is an iterative process and it must be done to determine the F values for Darcy-Weisbach formula. Say for example, if we know the relative roughness as 0.01 and if we know the Reynolds number as 2 into 10 to the power 4, then the intersection of this point we can have a friction factor of 0.04. But this is for single pipe. I repeat, this is for single pipe. What if there are 50,000 pipes in your network? Are we going to find out friction factor for each and every pipe? No, we are not going to do that. We can use this method, but we have another simple method, that is Hazen-Williams equation. In this method, all the components are measurable in the field except the C value, as you can see over here. This can be derived back calculation of the other known values or determined through field testing, or we can rely on the C value which are given in the books. So these are a few C values which we can get in the books. As you can see over here, the value ranges from 0 to 150. As we move towards 0, as you can see over here, as we move towards 0, the pipe becomes older one, and as we move towards 150, we can have a new pipe. So this is one of the simplest method which we can use. And the next one is Manning's equation. Manning's equation is basically used for open channel, right? Okay. So this was all related to the theoretical part which we must know while working on the software. Then let us take a look on Vertigem's features and tools. Okay, so we will take a look on various features of the software and tools which are available for use. As we have seen this background layer dialog box on the welcome window of the software, here you can see two images on the right hand side. We can use any kind of background layer just for our reference. So this background layer leverages to use all kinds of CAD files. We can use Esri shape files. We can use raster pictures of all these formats. So here are two examples given on this slide. The first image shows that we have used the Bing map as a background layer. Bing map is nothing but an imaginary which we can use as a background layer. It similarly looks as a Google map. Then the second one is an AutoCAD file with contours marked in it. Okay, so this is how we can use these background layers. Now the next is scenarios and alternative management. This is one of the best tool in this software and one of the important feature. You can see over here. Uh, I'm sorry, but will you please mute yourself? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks once again. And you can mute your video as well. Okay. Let us continue. Okay, so scenarios and alternative management is one of the important feature in the software. As you can see, this is my current scenario. Just take a look on this diagram first. Don't go on left and right hand side of the image. Okay, as just focus on the central part of the screen. You can see this is my current scenario of 2020. You can see a few households. You can see a treatment plant which is supplying water to some part of the city, and we have few industries situated on the outskirts. We have schools or colleges over there. What will happen if you forecast some expansion in 2020 21, sorry. So the green one is my current scenario and the red one is my future scenario. What will happen if you are trying to develop few part of your city into a smart city? So you are developing or you are forecasting some new expansion in 2021. If you have additional surface connections which were there in 2020, in the current scenario you can see the green lines. We were already having some surface connections and we are developing some new kind of scenario in future. So like if you have additional surface connection in the network, will the existing network will be able to cater the additional flow in the future or not, or do I have to increase the diameter of my old pipes or old mains? So this is how we can fix this problem by using these scenarios and alternative management. We can resolve unlimited what if situations with the help of these scenarios and alternative management. What if there is a new extension in the system? What will happen if there is change in population, if there is change in demand, if there is change in diameter of the pipe, if there is change in operation and maintenance, if there is change in slopes, so on and so forth. So with the help of these scenarios and alternative management, with scenarios we can create multiple number of scenarios, and they are having a relation like father and children. Means they are having inheritance with, if we are working on the child scenario, they will have inheritance with their father. So what I want to say or explain here is, we were having this older scenario. With the help of this older scenario, without disturbing the older data, we can add new system data and we can create a child scenario with the help of this scenario management. As you can see over here, we have current scenario in 2020. We can create a child scenario of that for 2021 without disturbing the data in scenario 2020. We can enter additional data in the scenario for 2021. So on the left hand side, you can see the different alternatives. All the base alternatives are related to the current scenario, and you can see just below that I have underlined it. You can see the physical alternative, you can see the demand alternative, you can see the fire flow alternative, so on and so forth. So these alternatives are nothing but the data which we have added for, or which we have given as an input for, or we have created alternatives for a future scenario in 2021. So this base physical, base demand, base fire flow, everything is related to the current scenario in 2020. So I hope you understood this slide. So with the help of these scenarios and alternative management, we can do this kind of things in the software. Okay, then another most important tool is model builder. It leverages us to use a multi-source model creation. If we have multiple data with us, as you can see on the center of the screen, if you had CAD drawings, if you have databases, different kinds of spreadsheets, if you have geospatial data, and if we merge all those data together and put it in the model builder, we can create our model in very less amount of time. Okay, so here on the right hand side of the screen, let's take a look on this. We can see the three different kinds of data set we have. We have demand information, we have road centerline map to plot the pipelines, then we have terrain model for elevation data. So by merging all these three together, we can automatically create a model with the help of this model builder. Once we will jump to the software, I'll give you a brief introduction of this model builder thing. Okay, so that how can we import data from how many different sources. Okay, so if you have good data, you can create a good model, but if you don't have good data, one thing keep it in mind, garbage in is equal to garbage out. If your data is garbage, you will get the garbage at the end. That was a joke. Okay, so if you have good data, you can create a good hydraulic model at the end. Okay, next part is T-Rex. What this T-Rex is? This T-Rex is nothing but TR stands for terrain and EX stands for extraction. So this T-Rex is used to automatically assign elevation data to a particular model. As you can see on the screen, there is one model. All the black lines are pipes, all the red dots are junctions. Okay, So here you can see this is one small part of that particular model. We have developed this kind of model in water gems of a particular area, but we haven't mentioned any kind of elevations to that particular junctions. So from where can we get the elevation data? We can have different kinds of sources for elevation such as DXF contours, land XML, spot elevation, tin file, DTM, DEM, Bentley terrain model, or different kind of shape files. Okay, so from all of these sources, if you have any kind of say contour map for that particular area, so if I develop this model for this particular area, and if I have contour map of the same area, then with the help of this T-Rex tool I can assign elevation to my model easily. As you can see, the elevation of say example 151.2, for example meters, is assigned to that particular junction with the help of this T-Rex tool. Okay, then we can do the fire flow analysis. This is major type of demand which we can represent, or which can represent a huge fraction of the total demand. We can do the fire flow analysis with the help of this software. For commercial and industrial structures, we needed the fire flow demand which is based on building area, construction class, the building occupancy, exposure, so on and so forth. Okay, it is also important for the modeler. It is also important for the modeler to consider the future fire protection requirements, because fire protection demands are often much larger than the baseline demands. They are usually a major factor in future pipe sizing decisions. Okay, so all those things with like for fire flow analysis we can do with this software. The next one is network design using Darwin Designer. This is one of the advanced tool in the software which uses genetic algorithm for optimization. It is highly efficient. We can optimize pipe diameter, minimize cost of the model for maximizing the pressure benefits, and we can do trade-off between cost and benefits with the help of this Darwin Designer. Okay, actually it is very much applicable for new type of design scenarios, like if you are developing any kind of smart city today, we can use this software, we can use this tool in the software more efficiently. Okay, so the next one is load builder. Demand is nothing but the load, which we can say in another language. Okay, so demand is nothing but the load on that particular system. So this load builder tool is used for demand, assigning a demands to a particular network. We can assign demands using different methods such as point load. If you have data for a particular point, that if you know that on this XYZ junction the demand is X liter per second or liter per day, so we can assign point load with the help of this load builder. If you have details of area, then say for example if you are living in a particular area, you have demand of that particular area, that this much amount of demand is required for a particular day. Okay, so that you can assign with the help of this load builder tool. Then if we have population data, if we have customer meter load data, then we can assign all these data or all these loads with the help of this load builder tool to a particular junction, particular system. Okay, then last but not the least, SCADA Connect Simulator. SCADA, you must have seen or you must have studied this term in your theoretical, you must have some theoretical knowledge of this particular term. The SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. That is nothing but Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, SCADA. We use this tool for real-time data monitoring. We can connect to real-time data, which is nothing but field data. As you can see on both of these images, you cannot see these two images in the software. I have just I'm just putting this image for better understanding. Okay, so as you start with the bottom. Okay, as you can see, the bottom image shows there are 3 pumps. There is one tank present over here. So with the help of these SCADA tools, if we have all the sensors available in the particular system, and if we are connected to a SCADA server, then we can do or we can monitor real-time data in the system. Okay, so let's take a look at this image. You can see pump third is green, pump 1 and 2 are grayed out. I'm just putting this image for better understanding. Okay, so here we can see that pump 3 is in running state. Okay, or simply it is on, and here on the left hand side of that pump we can see a tank, and we can see different levels of that tank. We can see pressure as well. Okay, so this real-time data, or here you are looking at an HMI. So this real-time data can be shared through Wi-Fi or through internet with with the help of the SCADA signals, and we can monitor the system. Okay, so this is all field data which we can get through this SCADA Connect simulator. Let's take a look on the results. With the help of this software, we can get different kinds of results such as graphs. We can have different kinds of graphs, as you can see over here. The blue line, the graph is plotted for flow. The red line shows the hydraulic grade, and the green line shows a pump head. Okay, so you can create multiple graphs. You can create multiple. You can see multiple graphs together, and you can see how the system is running for a particular time span. Okay, so this is how you can develop few graphs. These are the flex tables. You must have used Excel sheets. So these flex tables are nothing like but similar like Excel sheets. As you can see, all the rows and columns over here. So we can put all the data which we have with us in Excel sheet. We can directly copy it to the flex table, or the flex table is looking like an Excel sheet. You can see IDs, you can see labels, lengths of that pipe, what is the start node, stop node, diameter of that pipe, material used, so on and so forth. So this is what the flex table. And we can do color coding to a system. We can color code the system on the basis of diameter, on the basis of flow, velocity, discharge, water quality, so on and so forth. Whatever the things which are coming in your mind, you can color code the system depending on that. And we can have different contours. Okay, we can have different contours, and we can plot like color coding. We can develop contours for the system. Okay, so this was all about the results. These are a few successful projects around the world. You can see the SABEP in Sao Paulo, Brazil. They have used WaterGem software, and the SABEP used Bentley hydraulic modeling software to analyze the feasibility of increasing water flow and production to three cities in the state of Sao Paulo, serving the population of 650,000. This achieved an immediate return on investment of 3.8 times the amount they have invested. So water jets and hammer, which were used to develop this system, and there are few comments we got or we received from the maintenance and automation department of SABEP that the WaterGem software is magnificent and it meets our all requirements with fast calculation and impressive simulation. Okay, this is Barwon Regional Water Corporation, Australia. So using WaterGem software, Barwon Water was able to optimize the pipe augmentation to meet complex requirement. This helped to achieve the estimated capital saving of Australian dollar 3 million over the original plan. The operational cost of the pump were reduced by 20,000 Australian dollar annually, and the pump will also generate fewer greenhouse gases. Okay, so this is what the comment which we received from senior engineer of Barwon Regional Water Corporation, Australia, that WaterGems helps to optimize the asset management decisions and more reliably meet customer service targets for planned and planned interruptions to the supply, which improve the overall quality of the service to the customer. Now, let's take a look on events and competitions which Bentley Institute held. Okay, so the first one is here in infrastructure. Its goal is to advance innovative and best practices in engineering, design, construction, operation, and project delivery, and to celebrate the extraordinary work of the organizations that help advance the world's infrastructure. The Year in Infrastructure Award program has recognized more than 3,700 of the world's most outstanding infrastructure projects since its inception in 2004. Okay, the projects nominated are submitted by Bentley Global Community of the software users. The submissions are judged by the panel of independent industry experts to determine the finalists of each category. The category of winners and special recognition award winners are announced during the award ceremony. So you can have more details of this YII on site. You can have searchable digital versions of this infrastructure yearbook, which is available at www.bentley.com year in infrastructure, or you can have project named as award finalists, or you can go to user project profiles available at www.bentley.com/projects. So this time we will welcome you at Vancouver for Year in Infrastructure event on October 12 to 15, 2020. Okay, and this competition is actually related to all the companies which are developing projects or which are working on any kind of project with the help of Bentley software. They can have they can have their entries to this YII program. For more details, you can contact our account managers. At the end of this slide, I'll share contact of our account managers with you all. Now this is actually for students. Digital Infrastructure Student Idea Challenge 2020. We know infrastructure and the built environment plays a key role in the lives and our society. People rely on infrastructure for transportation, water, power generation, and housing. Booming urban population, climate change, and other large changes for human societies will bring new challenges to the infrastructure industries. Through this competition or through the Digital Infrastructure Student Idea Challenge 2020, Bentley invites all the students from around the world to describe challenges that they see for the infrastructure industry now or in the nearer future and present their ideas for meeting these challenges. Okay, for more details you can contact our account manager or you can simply visit Bentley communities. Okay, so moving on to other few slides, let us take a look on the software first. Okay, so this was all related to the presentation part. Now we will jump on the software part. Just give me a minute. Can everybody see the screen? Can everybody see the software? Kindly mention in the chat box. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So this is how the Water Gems software will look like. This will be the welcome window. Okay. So before developing any kind of model, we'll just simply click on few things and we'll get to know that how the software helps us rather than to develop a model. Many of you have seen this interface for the first time. Many of you have used this software many times and using the software in day-to-day life. But for those who don't know about this software or for them who don't know about few things in this software, let's go to few part of this software and how we can learn the software from scratch. Okay, so first of all, as we have discussed in the presentation, you can see a ribbon interface over here at the top. You can see element symbology on the left hand side. You can see drawing space at the center of the screen. You can see properties on the right hand side. You can see background layers bottom left of the screen. You can see user notifications at the bottom of that screen. Okay, so if you think, will I get this small size of, no, all the docs which you can see over here are, or all the tabs which you can see over here are dockable. Okay, you can dock anywhere on the screen you want. Okay, also if you want to increase your drawing space, you can unpin dialog boxes. As you can see, I have unpinned the properties. I have unpinned the user notification. It automatically increases your drawing space. Okay, if I am double clicking over it and again unpinning, so I'll get back my properties as well as I'll get back my user notification dialog box. Okay, so this is how the welcome window will look like. So once you open the software, you won't get this directly. Once you open the software, it will welcome you with this welcome dialog box. So what you can see over here is You can see that at the first it will take you to the quick start lesson. Then at the center you can have create new hydraulic model, or you can open existing hydraulic model. But if you are starting from the scratch, I'll recommend you to click on this quick start lesson. When you are clicking on this quick start lesson, it will redirect you here to the quick start lesson PDF. Okay, so when you're when you'll get or when you'll open this water gems quick start lesson, you can go to any kind of chapter or any chapter you want to learn. Like, I'll zoom it out. You can see you can build a network and perform a steady state analysis. You can do the extended period simulation. You can do the scenario management. As we have seen all those slides in sequence, then we can report results. We can do the automated fire flow analysis. We can do water quality analysis. We can do Darwin designer, scenario energy cost, pressure dependent demands, criticality and segmentation, flushing, importing SCADA data, and SCADA Connect simulator. So let us start with the first one. Okay, if I am clicking on this building a network, it will take me to that particular chapter. As you can see on the screen, building a network and performing a steady state analysis. So this is the very first chapter of this water gems software. Okay, so what I recommend you all is, if you want to learn by your own, and if you if you want to have some value addition within yourself, okay, so you can start learning this software by going to this quick start lesson. Okay, so continuing the chapter, building a network and performing a steady state analysis. Here you can see model having some background and everything. Okay, so where you will find all those things once you install the software in your system. Okay, once you install the software in your system, you'll open that software. It will redirect you to the welcome dialog box, and when you're going to click on that quick start lesson, it will take you to the quick start lesson. Okay, so what after this? We can see different lessons over here in this PDF, and where you can find all those files. So you can find those files simply in my computer. Okay, so here, going to our desktop, going to see. Okay, once you install the software, the default file it will install is program files. So once you go to Windows program files, you can find a Bentley folder. Once you go into that folder, you will see the complete list of software which you have installed in your system. Okay, you can go to water gems, as we are looking for water gems, or we are learning the water gem software. This third folder, once you go into that, you can have all those files together in as you can see this lesson 1. So this lesson 1, I'll just simply here you can see all the lesson file, all the DWG, or all the background file for that lesson, right? So this water gems file for lesson 1 is related to this building network and performing a steady state analysis. Okay, once you will start this quick start lesson, What I recommend is you just blindly follow all the steps. You start for blindly following all the steps. You'll get to know that how the software works. Now step 2, laying out the network. We can see this lesson 1 DFX, right? Here you can see the lesson 1 DFX. So this lesson 1 DFX is already available once you install the software in your system. So this is nothing but the background layer for lesson 1, right? So after importing that, you will get a background layer like this. Okay. So this is how Quick Start lesson will help you out for learning this software. It has covered each and every part of the software itself. Okay. This software is so huge that we cannot cover each and every step in today's session. Today's session is just a fundamental introduction for the software. If you like today's session, or if you want to learn something new, or if you want to learn some advanced part of this session, you can simply put up a mail, or you can contact our account manager. We will conduct advanced session in near future. Okay, so all the questions related to the advanced features of this software will be covered in the next advanced session if you want that. Okay, so today's session is just a fundamental introduction to the software and the tools which we have, okay, in the software. So I think everybody must have understood how this quick start lesson works. Simply you can put a yes or no in the comment chat box. Okay, so let us move to another part of our today's session. So this, we have gone through the quick start lesson. Okay, again for you all, I'll click on the welcome dialog box. Okay, so the first part we have seen that quick start lesson. The another one is create new hydraulic file. Okay, so once I'll create a new hydraulic file, it will open an untitled.wtg file. Here you can see there is nothing in that file. We haven't developed any kind of model. Okay, so this is a blank file. When you click on create new file, you will get this untitled file. Okay, before developing a model, I want to share a few things with you. Okay, go when you'll open the software, go to files, just scroll down. You'll see a help button on the left hand side. You simply click on this help button, which will redirect you to some help and few important links. Listen again, few important links. Okay, as you can go to quick start lesson by going to file and clicking on this help, as you can see over here. If we click on this quick start lesson again, it will redirect us to that particular PDF, right, which we have seen few minutes earlier. Now if we click on WaterGems helps, it will take us to this dialog box where you can see all the things related to this WaterGems software. Bentley OpenFlows WaterGems Connect Edition help. Okay, so understanding the workspace, that how this software can be used standalone, microstation environment, working in AutoCAD mode, working in ArcGIS mode, everything. Okay, when you click on creating model, it also shows you how to start a hydraulic model, then elements attributes, so on and so forth. Each and every detail is covered in this part. Okay, so starting a project, if you click on that, so these two things are completely different. A quick start lesson is completely different. A quick start lesson comprises of all the lessons which are related to this software, and this water gems help. It contains all the technical inputs or all the technical theoretical part related to this software. Okay, so this was related to the water gems help part. Again, going to file help, we can have information about water gems software which is installed in our system. Okay, so this was all related to help part. Now let us jump to few important links. Now here in links you can see the very first one, that is Bentley communities. I guarantee that most of you have not visited Bentley communities yet, right? So rather going via Google, or you can simply go to Bentley communities with the help of this software. Again, I'm repeating, I'll take you to the communities again. So simply click on file, scroll down, click on help button, and click on this important link, Bentley communities. It will redirect you to our Bentley community, right? As you can see over here, open flows, hydraulics and hydrology. Okay, if you have signed in, you can directly go to few parts of this community. You can see unlimited wikis now present over there till date. You can go to forums, you can go to blogs, you can have few files. Also, part of this community is you can go to a calendar. Just simply zoom out. You can see this is the calendar for April 2020, and here is something, some sessions which are some sessions or few SIGs. SIGs are nothing but special interest group webinar like this, which are carried out live or which are live sessions which are carried out for special interest group on this particular dates. Okay, if I'm clicking on this SIG webinar on 28th, okay, so similarly we can see this SIG webinar on maximize payback from Bentley water distribution system model, which will held on 28th April at 5:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, you must take care while working on or while watching these timings, as Bentley is a global team, so there are a few sessions which are organized on different time zones. Okay, so this was about the calendar, and this was all about the communities which you can visit. This is what our technical team, which you can see on the right hand side, headed by Jesse Dringoli, and all these members are already there. So you can, once you sign in, what is the base part of this is you can raise your question, whatever the difficulties you are facing till date, or you are faced till date, you can raise your question. I am not talking about hydraulics and hydrology, but if you go to the Bentley community's homepage, you can scroll down and you can pick up your own topic. As we were there redirected to the hydraulics and hydrology, you can have different software for, as you can see, I'm scrolling down, for bridge analysis. Then for building design, you can go to Ecosim, open buildings, legions. Then you can go to construction communities like Synchro. Then go for geotechnical analysis like Plaxis, soil vision. Scrolling down, you can go to hydraulics and hydrology community. for open flows where we were few minutes before, right? So
Right.
so we can if we are scrolling down, we can go to structural analysis communities like RAM, STAD, Open Tower, so on and so forth. So this is the home page for Bentley communities. If I'm clicking on this and I'm going again to sorry, if I'm going again to open flows, hasted, that is nothing but hydraulics and hydrology community. If I'm clicking on that and clicking on go, it will redirect me to the open flows hydraulics and hydrology community, right? So here you can directly come with the help of software. So that's what I was telling to you. So this was related the first for the very first. We have gone through this quick start lesson. We have gone through Bentley communities. Now I will take you to the last part before developing a model to that this software can redirect us or it can take us to bentley.com as well. So here if you are clicking on bentley.com, it will directly take us to bentley.com. Okay, so this is home page for bentley.com, right? Here you can see everything related to Bentley. You can go to news, you can go to careers. If you want to apply for any kind of position, you can go to careers. Then you have information for year in infrastructure awards, as we have already discussed in the slides. So if you are still confused, you want to read more details for this kind of competitions, you can visit this site. Okay, these are the different programs which we conduct, as we have already discussed. I'm zooming in. As we have already discussed for communities, discussed about communities, we are having different programs for students and educators. We have different programs for channel partners, product training partners, reality modeling providers, software developers, user groups. Then we are applications, so on and so forth. So this is how one software helps you to develop yourself in many sense, right? So this was all related to the help and Bentley links, Bentley important links. Okay.
So, sir, I have to ask some questions that they are organizing some questions or exam sentence like that.
Uh, Extremely sorry, but I request you all to put your questions in chat box. Mute yourself, mute yourself, and put your questions to the chat box. Okay. Now,
Okay,
the
okay.
last part of the software. Last part. Let us develop one simple model. Okay. Let us develop one simple model. Uh, you can see we are having these different tabs, right? We have to cover up fast because we are exceeding the time. Okay. So we are having all these tabs which we have discussed in the presentation as well. We are having this home tab, all the commonly required tools which are added over here, right? The calculation part, drawing part, common components, common views, common tools. We can go to layout tabs, construct all these layouts. We can see pipe, junction, tank, reservoir, hydrant, so on and so forth. We can have pump, PRV values, transient analysis, everything is present over there. Then in analysis part, you can see is analysis. The calculation part in analysis is most commonly used, so this is already added to home tab, right? This is home tab, this is analysis tab, right? We're having different components, we can having different reviews, we can having views, tools, reports, so on and so forth, right? So let's start with plotting a model. So before plotting a model, there is one step we have to carry out. That again we have to click on file. We have to click on option to set up the project. Okay, to set up the project, we can set up our project with the help of going to files and options. Once we start with the quick start lesson, the very first step of that quick start lesson is nothing but to set up the project. Okay, so I'll cover it little fast. Here you can see all the information related to hydraulic model drawing. Okay, whether it is scaled or schematic. So we'll start with the schematic drawing. We are not going to plot any scale drawing, right? As plot, we are plotting a scale factor of 1 centimeter is equal to 5 meter. Okay, we can define different units by going to units tab. We can go to SI units or year. As you can see here, SI, we are fixing SI units and reset it to default. Okay, we can go to labeling. If you want to change any kind of labeling for your pipe, lateral, junction, customer meter, tap, SCADA element, anything, you can go and change your prefix, suffix over here. Okay, so this is what project wise integration and engine. So we are not going to look at it for this fundamental session. Okay, so here we are going to plot a very simple model. Now going in layout, I'm simply putting one reservoir. Okay, here is one reservoir. I went to layout tab, clicked on reservoir, so I can see a reservoir R1 is placed over here. So I will need few junctions to plot some demand. I'll simply draw a network over here. I'll connect all these points with the help of pipes. So I'm going to click on pipes from R1 to J1, from J1 to J2, from J2 to J3, J3 to J4, J4 back to J1. Okay, clicking escape, bringing me back to my cursor. Okay, again escape will bring me back to the selection. Okay, so now how to put input data to all these different layouts. So as you can see, if I'm clicking on reservoir 1, I can see all the properties related to reservoir 1 on the right hand side of the screen. Okay, all the properties is present over here. If I'm clicking on the properties related to reservoir 1, if I'm clicking on J1, all the properties will be shown which are related to the junction J1, and similarly for pipe. Okay, so we can put all the data with this properties dialog box, or as well as we can go to the flex tables as we have discussed already. Flex tables are nothing like which are equal to the Excel sheets. Okay, so when we are going to put some data, we can go to in and we'll get this type of dialog box. Okay, we can get this dialog box. Okay, as you can see over here, you can see all the junctions plotted over here. We don't have any kind of elevation, so simply we are just putting different values by keeping a reservoir at the highest level, because we don't have put any kind of pump or any kind of external energy to flow the water. So we are keeping elevation 120, simply 100, 98, 96. Okay, oh sorry, this is for junctions. So 100 for junction 1, 98 for junction 2, 96 for junction 3, and 94 for junction 4. Okay, I'm closing the flex table. When you can cross check that. Once you will click the junction J1, we will get elevation which we are already added to the flex table. Okay, so you can see 100 meter of elevation, 100 meter, and for junction 2 we are having 90, junction 3, junction 4, so on and so forth. Now for reservoir, as we are having on, we will add elevation with the properties dialog box. So I'm putting 120 and pressing enter. Okay, so here we are having elevations for all. Now reservoir is done, junction is done. Now we have to add details of pipes. So going to flex tables and clicking on pipes will simply take you to the pipe flex table, as there are default diameter which are already set for pipes. Now if I want to change it to say 100 meter mm 100 diameter, I'll simply click, I can global edit that, and I'll simply right click on global edit, I'll put it 100 and clicking OK. Okay, so I can see all the diameters are 100 now. I can see material ductile iron, I can see Hazen Williams coefficient C, which is already 130 we are having in your pipe. Okay, now details for reservoir, details for junction, details for pipe are added already. Now the last one is remaining, which is nothing but demand. So I'm going to common components, clicking on demand center, going to demand control center, uh, and clicking yes. So it will take me to the demand center. I'll go to new, initialize all demands for all elements. As we have already discussed in the same session, we have to assign demands to all those junctions only. So you can see when I initialize the demands, all the junctions are over here. Now I'm putting demands one by one, say 10 for junction 1, 5 liters per second for junction 2, 15 for junction 3, and 5 for junction 4. Okay, now you can go to the statistics by clicking right clicking on the header. You can click statistics. Now we can see maximum demand is 15 liters per second, minimum demand is 5 liter per second, and total demand is 35 liter per second. Now our simplest model is ready. Now we'll validate the model before computing that. While after validating the model, it shows that there are no problems were found. This is the very simple model. Okay, and let us compute the model. After computing the model, our total demand was of 35 and the total flow supplied was of 35. So my demand is satisfied at all the junction. As this was for steady step analysis, we are having only one step for iteration. Okay, so this was all related to the software. Now you can create this much big amount of model. As you can see, there are almost 300-400 pipes. You can see a part of the city. This is very huge network. Okay, here is one tank which is providing water to all these complete network. These are different pipes, junctions, flow direction, and all. We can have background layer such as Bing map. By going to the background layer, I am running a little fast because we are exceeding the time. Sorry for that, but you can see all these things in the quick start lesson. Okay, so I'm right clicking on this, getting on new, setting up our background as Bing map. Okay, if I'm having latitude and longitude for my office location, I'm just clicking OK. So you can see here Bing map for as my background layer. You can see all those road center line map, and you can see Amagarpatta Cyber City, where so here Bentley office is here in tower number 12, Cyber City tower 12. Okay, so by taking reference of this background layer as a Bing map, you can plot your network, as you can see over here. Okay, simply you can start plotting the network. plotting the junctions pipe. Okay, once you uncheck it, your network will look like this. Once you check the background layer, your network will look like this. Okay, so this is how you can use lot many files, lot many things. One last thing I want to discuss with you, that do visit our Bentley Hydraulics and Hydrology Modeling channel on YouTube. Subscribe it. You can see all the playlists available for all the software. You can see WaterGems, WaterCAD, SewerGems, WaterGems, Water Advance, Hammer Training, Sewer Fundamental, Sewer Advance, so flood, so on and so forth. Once you click on this, say for example, if you are going on Water Fundamental Training, you can see complete playlist of this. These two videos are starting, two videos are of fundamental. When you click on third one, if you are signing into Bentley, then you can download a data set and simply follow all the steps which are shown in this video here, as you can see, which are shown in the video, and you can follow it blindly with the help of this data set. Once I'm clicking on the data set, it will automatically redirect us to communities again. So to download, first sign in and then click the download button. Okay, upper right side. Once I sign into this, once I sign into this, it will directly take me. Can you see here the download button? As I'm working with Bentley, I have my own credential, so I can sign in automatically. Okay, so you can download this data. Once you click this download, your download will start automatically. This is what you can have your data set with you, and simply by going to all those or videos, going through all those videos, you can follow in parallel to that. Okay, this was all related to water. This is for Bentley structural, this is for Bentley open roads. Okay, so this is how you can develop yourself, your knowledge. And thank you very much for attending today's session. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
this was